Our next candidate is Deane. He's a 30-year resident of East Sacramento. He and his wife Kathy have raised 2 children there, and they're committed to protecting and improving the quality of life in District 3 neighborhoods. He believes the next few years will define the quality of our city, and he's running for city council because he believes experienced leaders will be critical. As a former regional director of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and other positions in state and local government, Deane has the knowledge and skills to effectively deal with crime, the arena, job creation, our city deficit, prison reform, and the advocacy skills to represent our neighbor interest. On a local level, he has worked hard as a neighborhood association president to address public safety and quality development issues. On a state and federal level, he's implemented numerous public programs and innovative solutions, negotiated union contracts, and managed billion-dollar budgets. He's an effective and known communicator on local issues, including land use, flood control, safety, crime prevention, and emergency preparedness. As an officer in his family's marketing communications firm, he appreciates the pride of owning a business in the city of Sacramento. He's an objective, experienced, and balanced leader with a personal commitment to work hard for our communities as a full-time council member. Welcome, Deane.
Well, thank you so much for the introduction. I'm honored you read everything we prepared. I do want to recognize Cruz Reynoso. Thank you, Cruz, for being part of this. These community organizations, United Latinos, just like APAPA and the other groups, are so important to our communities. It is a shame that every candidate running for this office today isn't here. I'm not quite sure what the conflict is. It wasn't on my calendar of any conflict with anything else, but I think it's a mistake for any candidate who calls himself a leader or wants to be a leader of an organization or a leader of a neighborhood or a leader of a community to not be present and not to be fielding questions. So thank you again for putting this forum on today. We had the Sacramento Bee come out with their endorsements for District 3. We met with the editorial board a few weeks ago. Neither of those 2 candidates that were talked about in the endorsement are here today. It's a good indicator of a disconnect somewhere in our political process with what the media sees as something important about a person running for office and why they may be running for office and what their concerns really are. I'm disappointed that I didn't expect to get it. I got into this race late. I was asked to get into this race, a field of 7 candidates, because persons felt there were not enough persons that really had the leadership skills needed at this time in the city of Sacramento to move forward. The editorial itself in the Sacramento Bee talks about the need for strong leadership. It talks about the exciting things that are happening, like the development of the arena, but it also talks about our $500 million pension deficit. It talks about severe debt we are incurring. Even the arena itself will add a minimum of $256 million in debt to our city government. We have essential services we are obligated to provide as a city council. Crime, fire protection, those are the basics. As a matter of fact, if you ask the average person what a city councilman does and what a city does, it always comes down to those basic things. Then what else? Very few of the candidates running in this race have a problem with supporting the arts. Matter of fact, my wife over here, Kathy, who's taking a picture of me right now, owns an art gallery in Midtown. We've been members of the Crocker. We are very active in raising money for not-for-profit organizations, including the annual Catholic Appeal. We raise millions, non-governmental money, public or non-public money that can go to people in need. That is what I believe in. I'm a public servant. I come from a public service background with a family that was political years ago in Los Angeles. And I am very strongly, as I think you can tell from my experience, I've started young. I started as a person that came up here with the Duke Major administration 30 years ago to work in public government, fresh out of law school. I grew in the positions I had. I became the assistant director of the California Department of Aging. I was a legislative advocate. I went on to actually run for an assembly seat years ago down in Los Angeles, barely lost that seat. I am a person that does not take special interest money. I am dedicated to neighborhoods, as you can tell from my leadership as an association president here in East Sacramento for many years. But more importantly, I'm not running for a political career. I'm here for a short window of time, a very critical window in Sacramento's history, to do this right, to get our city stabilized, to reduce debt, and to work on the things that our neighborhoods need. We have a new part of a district. This district was reapportioned. South Natomas is now part of the district. It's a hop across a river. Very difficult to keep a district united with that. We have the rail yards. I am dedicated, as is my social service background, working in government, to help everyone in need. My focus is always on the neighborhoods and to see how that blends with the needs for city government. But I also bring something unique to this office. That is the ability to work at the state, federal, local level, county level, to get the services that should be provided by entities outside the city and make sure they come to our residents. I have that kind of experience. I've worked with multi-billion-dollar budgets at Health and Human Services as the regional director. And I will do that as I continue to work as a city councilman in the city of Sacramento. I thank you for coming today. I do wish to encourage all of you, build your leadership skills, get your educations, mentor with other people like Cruz that can bring you experience in becoming a better government leader. And I think ultimately that will be the secret to any group gaining strength and getting quality leaders in government. Thank you very much. Any questions you have? Okay, thank you very much.